Welcome back to the Detailing Bay and our series on paint correction, in particular the machines that are available. If you joined us last week, we were chatting about rotaries and dual actions. This week we're taking a closer look at the newer Nano and Cordless machines. Dave is here, he's had his hands on a few, so let's jump straight in. Let's start off with between battery. Well, just tell us about battery-powered machines.
Yeah, so they're becoming ever so more popular, but they're also quite niche as well because they tend to be more expensive. So you've got like, there's a split down the middle. You've got your full-size machines. You've got your battery-powered 12mm throw, 5-inch, 15, 21 throws, rotary as well. And then you've got the other side, which is what we know as nano machines. And these are machines that have got a very small form factor. These are designed to get into that 5% that, you know, other machines, even with smaller backing plates, can't get into. So out of the two, they've both kind of got to tick different boxes to a degree. I'd say out of them, the nanos are what I'd almost categorize as essential the more pro level you're going. At an enthusiast level, it's a luxury. But if you want to chase that top 5%, then you've kind of got no other option, because popping a 3-inch plate on a full-size DA is no longer cutting the mustard. You need a smaller machine. It needs to get into them little scoops, the skirts, grills, all them little areas, and that's what they cater for. But they also then make it into the car. You start doing your gloss piano trims and stuff around them as well.
So what classes it as a nano? Like what's the typical size of a backing plate on a nano?
So like with a nano, you can go down to, they'll traditionally go to 1 inch in size. So they'll range from different brands. They'll go from like 3-inch, 2-inch, 1-inch, keeping that generic. You know, some will be like 2.2 inch, but we'll just keep it simple. So yeah, 3, 2, 1 is the sizing where they become nano. Some people try and kind of factor in that, I can use the 3-inch, you know, that comes in handy for doing like your exterior pillars and that, you know, you're not so tight areas, but suddenly you're putting it on a 1-inch and you're doing where your door shuts are without any fear of catching anything or banging the machine off anything. There also, a lot of them have the option to go into a rotary mode, which means you can extend it then using an extension bar, and there is really no area you can not get to then.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. The nanos are kind of pushing the technology, I think, because all of a sudden you've got a battery-powered machine, which is obviously cutting edge, and then you've got interchangeable heads, so it can be DA, multiple different DA heads.
Yeah.
Very quick, a lot of them as well to change over.
Yeah.
And you can use them in rotary with extensions, like you say. So I think they're actually leading the way a little bit. I don't know, you know more about machines, but it seems like they've got the...
Yeah, no, definitely. They definitely, I mean, it was kind of Roops who kind of started the ball rolling with it, with their little hybrids with the long neck and the short neck, and still a proven great design as well. And then you've got the problem of they're quite expensive, you know, not every enthusiast, but now they're becoming in affordable enthusiast level. Now you've got brands like Daz, for instance, who've just brought out a nano machine, and it's cheaper, and it you know, it ticks a lot of boxes.
It's a talky little thing, that, isn't it? Because some of the problems you'll have with nanos is they can bog down.
Yeah, you've got to go. I think sometimes people's expectations when using nano, you've got to look at it as a whole. It's like, it's never going to be a machine that you're going to do hideously heavy correction with, that you're going to really hammer it. It's a small machine. It still needs to get itself cool. It's there for them really refined 5% of the areas you can't normally get to.
So how do you get the most out of a nano machine? Are you literally just talking about, like you say, your paint work and your fills, but there's some of them come with brushes for like your carpet.
Yeah, they do, and then that extends. That's when they start creeping into the interior then, because, you know, they're not as noisy, they're more portable, so you can go into the interiors and you can start doing stuff like your textured plastics, rubbers, correcting like your gloss interior parts, stuff like that. So they're definitely an evolution when it comes to using them.
So accessories available for your nano?
Yeah, so if you imagine, the machines are quite new to the market. So you can already see this hustle in the background happening of people trying to develop all these different things. So out the box, they're all going to have like rotary extensions or have rotary extensions available, but slowly developing flexible shafts for them now, which just takes them to an unstoppable level. And then the addition of using brushes on there as well. You know, they don't seem as severe. They're easy to move around, so you don't mind cleaning plastics with them with a brush on the end. So, be it a minor addition, it's also a really handy one.
So is it worth getting one of these alongside your dual action or your rotary?
Yeah, definitely. Rotary is a little bit more flexible, so you're already going to be able to chase more than a dual action can, just for the fact that you can just extend and put a 75mm plate on, but also extend, so you can take the head out of the equation. You can put a smaller head on a standard DA, albeit 8 or 9mm, but you can't extend it. So if you're dual action, then it's even more so. Definitely a good option. If you've got a rotary, then again, it's weighing up that whole, yeah, you can extend the shafts, you can take the head out of the equation, but sometimes, you know, it's not just a case of depth. Sometimes it may creep under something. You just need smaller form factor. So yeah, definitely, it's up to each person to decide whether they deem it essential, but it will. If you want your car to be the absolute best it can, then it does become an essential bit of kit.
And finally, do you use the same compounds that you'd use on your full-size machine?
Yeah, shrink everything down. You're not going to put 5 pea-sized blobs on a 1-inch pad, because you're just going to have absolutely way too much compound. Just a bit of logic on a little 1-inch, just drop in the centre and work it from there. So you're tapering everything down. You're also doing a massively smaller area as well. You never use a 1-inch pad and do 2 square foot an area.
And when it comes to pad choice, because most machines will come with like an array of pads,
yeah.
But if you're used to using, let's say, late country pads on a full-size machine, they'll usually cater now, won't they, for one pad?
So then now they're coming out. So like a lot of people like to follow the same pad all the way through, just because they're more comfortable with that pad. Because your cuts do change slightly as you reduce size or go bigger in size, but as a rule of thumb, it's a safe bet because it didn't understand the process and what they're following.
So full-size cordless machines, where do they fit into the job?
So these are, I absolutely love cordless machines, but they are probably in a niche environment the nichest machine going, because they've got the newest of technology as well. A lot of them, I mean, this big section, everyone thinks they're brushless. They're not all brushless. Some are brush, some are brushless. But generally, they'll sound, they are quieter as well. Slightly better balance as well, because you've not got a cable running off it. But they do have the restrictions. So I think in a detail studio, I always say, you know, unless you really want one where you can just go and grab a machine. Some people want to be totally wireless. You know, it's just, they feel it's that moving towards the future of how everything's going to go. And then you get your old school people saying, oh, I want wired. I want that constant power. I get both sides of it. But if you know, it's your decision to make at that point. They're brilliant because you can just pick the machine up.
It does feel good, doesn't it, to have that freedom?
Yeah, but you have some detailing setups where they will, like, the vehicles are in and out, they'll have 2 or 3 people working on them. And then, you know, your risk assessment, you've got cables everywhere. You can eliminate that completely. Batteries tend to last about 30 minutes continuous use. So when you're cycling that between pad cleaning and you're adding compound and that, you're probably getting about 45 minutes to an hour's usage. Battery can charge in that time, so you can keep alternating the batteries. There are some, I won't get into naming some of them, but there are some brands where the batteries slowly taper off. I don't like them because when you're working, you're not going to notice that as much, but you're actually reducing the effectiveness of the machine. Some of the other machines will, if they can't deliver the speed you're at, they will just shut off.
Yeah,
they make more sense to me. So that's definitely a must-have. But yeah, I won't go into slagging one up over the other.
But as a customer, how do you know that? Just read reviews. How do you know which machine does which? Because that would be important to me. I'd want it to either work as it's intended or not at all.
Right. So I may as well just say it then. The one that disappointed was Flex, because they just slowly taper off, and I don't understand why they do that. But then if you go with a Rupes or a Shine Mate, if they can't deliver the requested power, they shut off. And for me, and working in detailing, that's quite important. So yeah, that covers detailers, but I think enthusiasts, people doing it at home, that's where they're really going to come alive, because I've got a good few people now that, you know, they're just going to go out. They're not correcting the car. They just want to apply a wax nice and quickly, or a paintwork cleanser or anything like that. It's a big deal to them dragging an extension lead out, the cord running round, having to move the cord as you're going round. They can do what they want a lot quicker. If you've just got a quick bit of spot correction, they're just grabbing the machine and dealing with that area. They've got nothing else to do. So I think on the enthusiast side, that's where they're really gonna, you know, come into play, where time isn't money either.
Yeah.
So even if you're not charged your battery, it's not the end of the world. So they have a place in the Pro, but I think the enthusiasts where they're going to be the biggest impact.
Yeah, for me as an enthusiast, I think like they're a bit of a luxury, a Nano that's cordless. But if you've got a bumper scuff that you just notice and you can't be bothered, you know, like you said, dragging cables out. The handiest thing to just pick up and...
Well, we had a truck came in the other day, so we know him well. If I'm down the road, he was dropping something off, and he was going, I've got all these tar spots on the front of the van, but it's getting sign written today. Is it going to be a problem? Like, yeah, it needs to be clean. So I detarred it for him really, really quickly, and it was a yellow, but it was obviously quite oxidized. It was quite faded, and I was like, can't put your company logo on that faded yellow. So I legged it in, got a Shimate 15mm battery, and just quickly hit it with cut force, and it was beaming. And he come down like 3 days later glowing. He loved it. And it's just that you don't realise until you're like, oh, I've got one. It's probably, you've got your batteries charged. It's the brilliant.
Well, thanks for listening. If you need any more information on the polishes that we've covered here, you can head over to our blog on cleanyourcar.co.uk. We've also got a section of our Detailing Bay YouTube channel dedicated to paint correction. Next time, we're going to have a chat about pads, polishes and compounds and the do's and don'ts with choosing the right ones.